So let's talk a little bit about the failure of this Affordable Health Care Act. Trump says it's been a very interesting experience. Very interesting, you know. On Friday afternoon, President Trump delivered remarks on the failure of the American Health Care Act. We were very close, he said from the Oval Office. It was a very tight margin. We have no Democratic support, no votes from the Democrats. They weren't going to give us a single vote. The president went on to say, well, the plan now is to let Obamacare collapse and hope the Democrats are pushing to working with the GOP on a drafting a replacement. I've been saying the last 1.5 years, the best thing we can do politically speaking is to let the Obamacare explode. It's exploding right now. You know what? Hey, look, I'm under no delusions that the Obamacare is the perfect solution. I'm not crazy. I understand that it's not. In fact, I've talked about it extensively on this channel for anybody who cares to do any research on what my stance is. I've been very open and honest that it needs help. It needs repair. It's too high. There's too many penalties embedded in it. Okay, so there's a lot that needs to be changed about it. But there are a couple things that got right. And I don't care who you are. If you come into any organization, any company, any group for that matter, a team, let's say you're a team, you become the coach of the team, you don't just scrap all the plays. Nah, you don't scrap all the plays. If they got one play that's working pretty well or working marginally, you say, well, you know, what can we do to add to the play? Just because we switch coaches doesn't mean we throw out the whole playbook. And if you are going to throw out the whole playbook, it would behoove you, right, to have another playbook. Because if not, what the hell are you doing? And to me, this was all politics to begin with. It was never about us. It was never about people getting something better for themselves. It was never about taking care of Americans, taking care of our sick, taking care of our young, taking care of our old, taking care of our families. Because if that was the focus point, then we'd have a totally different plan. There's some things you can't buckle on, and one of those things is health. I was reading in an article where Donald Trump wrote a book, and one of his books, one of the chapters in that book, he elaborated. He went in on health care, and he said without health care, without people being taken care of, universal health care. Yes, Donald Trump was talking about universal health care in this book. His book, not an excerpt. It was in his own words. Well, maybe a ghostwriter. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he wrote all his books. That'd be crazy. That would require lots of work. But the point is this. He signed off on that book. He put his name on that book. And in that book, he talked about universal health care. That's really the only solution for us going forward. It's the only solution that makes sense. It's what we should deserve, demand, and if we don't, demand that. And I'm not just talking about you and I, right? I'm talking about the people that we put in office. You know, it kind of bothered me today that someone tweeted to me, hey, to me and AHCA Goodman, they said, stop talking about Hillary Clinton, you need to talk about the health care. And it bothered the hell out of me, guys, because I did 4 videos yesterday on health care. So he wasn't watching my shit. I did 3 today. He didn't watch them. How are we supposed to change hearts and minds if the people that I depend on to watch this content and share it don't even know it exists? And not only do they not know it exists, but then they heckle me for not talking about the thing I've been talking about for the last 72 hours, which is this bill. We got to do a better job. There's so many people still fixated on Russia, they don't even know what's going on. And now Trump is pointing the finger at the Democrats like they should have signed this bill, and that's the reason why it didn't get passed. No, it didn't get passed because truly, not even the Republicans signed it. They don't need Democrats to pass this bill. They need the Republicans. They couldn't even get those people because they have to go back home to their districts. The people that actually sent them to D.C. to fight on their behalf, they have to go back to their districts and say, I screwed you. Someone tweeted me today that a friend of theirs passed away because they were doing a fundraiser for insulin and it wasn't successful. And I had a heart to ask him, like, wow, the hell? People die every day because of the failures of Obamacare. People die every day before Obamacare. People will die every day because of lack of coverage, inability to get their medication, inability to afford their medications. I can't think of an issue more important domestically than healthcare. Because even if you got problems in your neighborhood that involve, I don't know, anything from police brutality to bad water, if you can't go to the doctor, even the people that get shot got to go to the doctor. You get what I'm saying? Like, healthcare is so germane to everything else. We can't even get that right. We can't even form a coalition around universal healthcare. It's a really horrible situation. I mean, that's the basic fundamental. That means there are people going, I care more about that guy over there making money than I care about you being able to bring your child into this world safely in the most developed country on the globe. But the whole reason why that person feels that way is not because they're the devil. It's because it's been spun in such a way that it doesn't come out. You know, it doesn't come out in a way that really tells you the truth about what the issue is. Propaganda is very discreet. They know how to propel their message forward by hiding it, draping it, clothing it, camouflaging it into other things. But if we don't start peeling back the onion on all of the propaganda, we won't get anywhere. Because I believe that most people are fundamentally good people. And nobody wants families to lose everything because somebody has a condition that they did not ask for. They didn't go out and create. It's the most fundamental, basic thing. So don't talk to me about how we need to fortify our forces to fight terrorism, when everybody who's sick has their own form of terrorism in their body that they can't get away from. You don't want to help fight against that? That's not important to you? Not enough to even share a video on it? Not enough to talk about it? Not enough to pound your congressman, your representative, your senator about that issue? Well, that says something about us too. I've had healthcare professionals on my show. We talked for hours about it. No one cares about healthcare until they get sick. And the main people that you'll see at these town hall rallies who talk about healthcare and how damaging it is, how screwed up it is, how unjust it is, the way that it operates now, are people who have family members or themselves who are going through it. Because other people who don't know, they're oblivious to how horrible our healthcare is. That's the only reason why they could put up with Trump blaming Democrats for not voting for this bill. Healthcare it's the cornerstone of everything. And if we can't make people care about their ability to live lives, I mean, what other hope do we really have? I mean, if I can't get people to gather around an issue such as, I don't know, what happens if you develop diabetes, or if you have a heart attack, or if you have cancer, or if you have multiple sclerosis, or whatever it is. If I can't get people to rally around that, I damn sure ain't gonna be able to get them to rally around mass incarceration, ending it, or getting rid of the death penalty because we have such an unjust jury system. Definitely won't be able to get them to rally around climate change or ending fracking. I mean, we're talking about life and death. And I can't get people to be emotional about that, empowered about that, passionate about that. What else is there? So you want to bicker about other things, but if we can't get this, and you know what? I think most Americans, they get it. They get it. But as long as we got phony media out there spinning it another way, And as long as we prop our politicians that aren't serious about correcting this issue, as long as we have them, as long as we allow them to keep jobs. Look, man, I'm not against anybody trying to make a living, but if you make a living off the backs of other people while you strip them of their humanity, you strip them of their very lives, also that you could get donations, you got to go. Oh, you got to go. You got to bounce.